Last night, Folarin Balogun scored for the United States. Then, 18 minutes later, he was sent off. Red card. Gone. The USA played the rest of a World Cup knockout match with 10 men and still won 2-0. Most people watching thought one less player, harder game, lucky result. That is not wrong, but it is nowhere near the full picture. A red card does not just remove a player, it breaks the entire structure of a football team. First, the basics. A red card means immediate dismissal. The player leaves the pitch and cannot be replaced, not by a substitute, not by anyone. Whatever 11 players your coach carefully selected, one of them is now gone permanently, and you do not get a replacement. You play with 10. That is the rule, and it has no exceptions. 10 men is not 11 men minus 1. It is a completely different tactical problem. A standard football formation is built around 11 positions: defenders, midfielders, forwards, each covering a specific zone of the pitch. Remove one player, and every zone the dismissed player was covering is now either empty or covered by someone who has to stretch further than they were designed to stretch. The team shape does not shrink neatly, it tears. In Balogun's case, he was the striker, the forward, the player whose job was to press high, create space, and score goals. When he left in the 64th minute, the United States did not just lose a goalscorer. They lost their entire pressing structure, the shape that starts at the front and forces Bosnia to play backward, gone. The coach now has a choice: chase the game with 10 men in an open formation and risk conceding, or drop into a compact defensive block and protect the lead. Pochettino chose the second option. The United States sat deep, compressed their lines, and made the pitch small. Bosnia had more of the ball. They pressed. But 10 men defending a compact shape is significantly harder to break down than 11 men in open play. The math is counterintuitive. Sometimes 10 men defending is more effective than 11 men trying to attack. Here is the detail most people miss entirely. The substitution system becomes a completely different tool the moment you go to 10 men. A coach normally uses substitutes to refresh tired legs, change the tactical shape, or introduce a specific threat. With 10 men, every substitution is now also a structural decision. Do you bring on a midfielder to fill the gap in the center? Do you bring on a defender to shore up the back? Do you sacrifice the striker entirely and go with 5 midfielders? Every substitution costs something else. Balogun's red card used up one of those decisions before the coach even opened his substitution board. And then there is the psychological dimension. The team that goes to 10 men gets a moment of crisis, a collective intake of breath, a shift in focus. The team that goes to 11 against 10 gets a sudden surge of confidence, a belief that the match has tilted. Bosnia pushed harder after the red card. That push was predictable. What was less predictable was that the USA absorbed it, scored again through Malik Tillman's free kick, and closed the match out. Winning with 10 men in a World Cup knockout game is not lucky. It is organized. It is disciplined. It is a coaching decision that holds under pressure. The red card did not decide the match. It just made winning significantly more complicated. The game is not 11 versus 11. Sometimes it is 10 versus 11, and the 10 still win. Now you know why that is harder than it looks. Subscribe if you liked this. It really means a lot.